I want to thank Judy for that wonderful introduction and for her support of Hillary and for her leadership of South Dakota Democrats. And you folks can sit down, you should, otherwise I'll be thinking I got a constant standing ovation. Bad for the humility index. I want to thank Cheryl Kandaras-Chapman and for her leadership of the County Democrats, Vice Chair of the South Dakota Party. I want to thank the Chairman, Jack Bellion, and Nick Nemec, and Sharon Strocher, and who are super delegates. You know, it's terrible the way everybody's fawning all over these super delegates. I wouldn't do that on a bet. I did wash their cars before this rally. Let me say to all of you, I hope you're glad that South Dakota's vote is going to count in this election. We are coming to the end of an astonishing campaign. There has never been this much interest. We started out actually with a very fine field of candidates before it came down to Senator Obama and to Hillary. We've never had so many people work, we've never had so many people vote, and we've never had so many people contribute. Yesterday I was in West Virginia. I was telling before I came out, and people keep coming up to me there. It's a tough state. It's having, the economy looks good, but the people are struggling. And these people kept coming up with stuff at $10 and $20 in my pocket, and then all of a sudden there's an 11-year-old boy standing there with a check for $422. An 11-year-old boy. And I said, he said, I raised this money for Hillary because I wanted to be president. So I said, how'd you do it? He said, well, I sold my bike for $30. And I sold all my video games for $6 a piece. I had a lot of them. He said, I tried to get rid of everything I didn't need because I know we need a president who will be there for us. And I said, you got a lot of video games if you made $400. He said, well, no. He said, I got the rest of it walking up and down the street asking people to give me $1 or $5 or $10. That's the kind of interest and intensity this campaign has brought to America. I think part of it is we finally had a chance to see in the last several years what we would get because the Republican Party had control of both the White House and the Congress. And I don't think it's any accident that they nominated Senator McCain because he's the only person they could have nominated who would have a chance to win the general election. Even though he agrees with the president on the war and largely on the economy, he's given about all you can give to this country without giving your life. And we deserve to express we're honor bound, I think, to express our gratitude to him for his service and our respect for him in this campaign, even though I don't, and I hope most of you don't, think that we can afford to go on with 4 more years of the same economic. We come to the end, and you've got 2 choices, and the votes are about evenly divided. They had a vote in Guam a few days ago, and it was a total metaphor for this campaign. Senator Obama had an office and 3 staff members and advertised. Hillary did 2 television interviews, 3 radio interviews, and had me do 3 radio interviews. And there was 7 votes difference out of 4,000 votes. I mean, that's an example of what this election is like. Everybody shows up, everybody backs out. And you have to choose. You've got, these candidates are brilliant and they're charismatic and they have energized people. One, by the power of his oratory and a vision of a post-racial, post-partisan America. It's excited lots of college students and a lot of our more well-educated, affluent Democrats. It's rallied African Americans. It's been an amazing campaign. And Hillary, I think, more by the power of her example, of her lifetime of service as a change maker, and the fact that she never quits in the face of extreme adversity. So, the campaign really look behind the press coverage and go to the facts, and you have to almost go to the websites to look at it, it's really not about which one is more positive or less tied to the special interest or all that. That's just, all you got to do is look at the facts and you'll weigh it out and decide that that's just not accurate. But it is about competing visions and who would be the best president to turn the economy around and to get out of Iraq and restore our standing in the world. Hillary's vision of America is a unifying vision too, except she believes it's about more than race and age and gender and orientation, and it's also about and party. And as I'll tell you in a minute, and nobody you vote for has done any more positive things for America with members of the other party, but she believes we need a vision of unity that covers place too. That we can't bring America together unless this is a country of shared prosperity again, based on shared opportunities and shared responsibilities. And that means town and country, suburbs and rural areas. We can no longer claim that we can build a united America when the prosperity is so concentrated. Wouldn't you say that most Americans think they're already in a recession? You know why? Most Americans are. That is, the economic definition of a recession is 1 day and more than 6 months of negative economic growth. Now, the country can't say that, but most Americans can for a simple reason. This is the central fact of America at home for Hillary. In this decade, 90% of the economic benefits have gone to just the top 10% of earners. 43% to the top 1%. And a big chunk of that to the top 1/10 of 1%. So, what's happened? In the 1990s, when you gave me the honor of serving, and I was able to come to South Dakota for a lot of things, I started off going to a horse farm here. I remember when I ran, but I tried to help you save Ellsworth Air Force Base, and I came back to try to work with Native American tribes. And our administration, I think, was the most tribal-friendly administration ever. Certainly, but just remember this: median family income after inflation went up $7,500 a family a year across all regional and racial lines. We were growing together. In this decade, median family income after inflation is $1,000 lower today than it was the day I left office. While energy costs are up $2,000 a family, healthcare costs have doubled, college costs up 75%, the average debt a college graduate carries to graduation is 50% higher than it was a decade ago. And in this year alone, the average car will cost $450 more to drive, and the average family will pay $250 more for food because of rising energy costs. And if you live out here where it's a long way from here to there, $450 won't touch what it will cost most people to afford to operate their car. So, here's why I think you ought to be for Hillary. Number one, I think her vision is more encompassing. Yes, we ought to get beyond party divisions whenever we can. Yes, we ought to live in a country where we celebrate our diversity and believe our common humanity matters more. But we cannot, over the long run, unify America unless we have a unity of place, and every American has a chance to participate. And we cannot unify America if 90% of the benefits are going to 10% of the people, and 1% of the people are getting over 40% of the growth. You cannot make America work that way. This is a middle-class country. And keep in mind, when I was president, we had a